All right, y'all. Let's have a little fun. This isn't serious. None of this matters. But let's have a little fun. 71% don't want Biden to run for re-election. Poll. Seven in 10 Americans say they do not want Biden to run for a second term, according to a new poll that comes out as Biden's approval numbers remain low and his party braces for losses this November. I covered a poll like maybe a week or two ago as well that said something very similar. And this also extends to Donald Trump. Americans seemingly want to move past the age of old-ass losers controlling the parties. I'm in favor of that personally. But I'm worried the Democrats don't have a backup plan. Harvard Caps Harris poll survey, shared exclusively with The Hill, found that 71% of respondents polled do not think Biden should run for a second term, compared to 29% who say he should run. Among the contingent of respondents who believe the president should not run, 45% said Biden should not make another bid because he is a bad president. Most of those are probably going to be the Republicans, though, I would also say that he's a bad president. Well, about 1/3 of respondents said he is too old, and about 1/4 said because it was time for a change. So too old and a time for a change, that's going to be the liberals. They're like, they know that Biden's a bad president, but they're afraid of saying it. They don't want anyone to know that they know. You know what I mean? President Biden may want to run again, but the voters say no to the idea of the second term, panning the job he is doing as president. Only 30% of Democrats would even vote for him in a primary. Mark Penn, the co-director of Harvard Caps Harris poll survey, said, but a majority of respondents, 61%, also said that former President Donald Trump should not run for White House again in 2024. 39% of the respondents said the former president should run again. Y'all, I just want to take a break here real quick. I know I've been through 2024 will be my third presidential cycle as an adult of eligible voting age. And so I have noticed the cycles. I've noticed that I pay attention to things. You might not know that, but I pay attention to things. I got eyeballs. I got ear holes, right? I'm listening, I'm looking, I'm seeing what's going on here. I remember during the 2016 election and 2015, right, in the year beforehand, everyone was like, oh, we want new people. We'll vote for third party. Remember when Gary Johnson was getting polled at 17%? The Libertarian candidate in 2016. He had 17% in a poll. When it was Hillary and Donald running against each other. 17%. That was impressive, I saw. Now let me look up what he actually got in the election. Right? So I'm going to look at what he actually got in the election. He ended up getting 3.25%. Gary Johnson, in 2016, got 3.25%. He was polling at 17% at one point, and I believe it was September or October of 2016, and he ended up getting 3.2%. So Americans love doing this shit, where in polls, they'll say something like, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. But then literally not even close is what actually happens in voting. Not even close. Not even fucking close. And then 2020 happens, And everyone's like, all right, it's going to be the year of Bernie. But then, And then we have Biden and Trump. But enough people were like, we don't want Trump. So now we're back to this position where 2024 is looking to be Biden and Trump. And there's another poll that came out like a month ago that said that like 60-something% of Americans would be, quote, open to voting for an independent or a third party. And this shit, I swear to you, this fucking shit happens every cycle. Where you see these stupid fucking polls where America's like, I hate both parties. They shouldn't run again. Let's vote for an independent. But all of these people don't actually do that kind of shit. But you know what's interesting is that like a lot of people online in the online news world that I consider myself a part of, a lot of people will make a big stink about this. Oh, are Americans finally ready for a third party? Are Americans finally ready to break the duopoly? You hear this shit all the time. The answer is no. The answer will be no in 2024. The answer will most likely be no in 2028. So I just want to say, I want to put that into perspective. And then let's jump back to this poll that we're talking about. 71% of the country does not want Biden to run again. Well, first of all, 71% of the country also wants to legalize marijuana at the federal level. Joe Biden campaigned on legalizing decriminalizing, he campaigned on marijuana at the federal level. If Joe Biden actually cared at all about wanting to be reelected, he would probably do something like that he can do with just executive power. Don't need Congress. All you got to do is reschedule marijuana or deschedule it with an executive order. So, he campaigned on it, and they don't care. Right? And Joe Biden, there's reports that privately Joe Biden is pissed the fuck off at the idea that people think he's not going to run again. Like, in his world, he wants people to think that Joe Biden is going to be running in 2024, and he wants, like, there to be no primary. He wants people to fall in line. But he's not going to do anything. Like, he just wants to be anointed as the king of the Democratic Party without doing anything to convince people that that is a good strategy. And so Democrats are sounding the alarms. And a lot of them, they're doing these Politico pieces where they're not really saying anything in public, right? And it's like mysterious sources. But also, the Democratic Party has a problem where there is no one in the line of succession that would run and be able to do well in a 2024 election. Right? Kamala Harris? Are you joking? Are you joking? Right? So if we have a situation where Joe Biden, frankly,
I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa.
If we have a situation where Biden runs in an open primary, or if he just steps down, if we have that kind of situation, who the fuck else is there in the Democratic Party that would be able to win a general election? Let's be honest. Kamala Harris? Pete Buttigieg? Do you all remember when Pete Buttigieg literally did the same thing Donald Trump did during the 2020 election? Does anyone remember this? I feel like it was a Twilight Zone kind of scenario. Pete Buttigieg, on the night of the Iowa caucus, declared victory before all the votes counted. That's literally exactly what Donald Trump did. Lose an election. Donald Trump lost the election. Joe Biden won the election. But just declare victory anyway. So you think Pete Buttigieg is going to be the one to run in 2024 against Ron DeSantis or Donald Trump? Who else is there? Elizabeth Warren? Come on, let's be real. Come on. My opinion, the only one that has a chance is Bernie Sanders. That's my opinion. I am Bernie or bust. Let's go, Bernie. Round 3. That's my opinion. I think Katie Porter, if she ran, responding to the chat here, if she ran, I'd be interested. But she's got to start building her profile like right now. She needs to start building her profile like last year. And that's the problem, is no one in the Democratic Party knows how or cares at all to build a profile, a national profile. They just don't care. I'd be interested in a Fetterman. Let's assume Fetterman wins in the Pennsylvania Senate race and then like starts making national headlines every day. I'm in. I'd support that. My general position on a primary is I support whoever is the furthest to the left and has the highest chances of winning. That's the ratio. 2020, that was Bernie Sanders, was furthest to the left, and Bernie Sanders had the highest chance of winning. So, boom. I mean, that was an easy choice. But if you're going to make me choose between, like, a left-wing candidate that, like, has a lower chance of winning than someone who's slightly more to the right but has a way higher chance, then that's going to be a difficult calculation. But 2016, easy choice, Bernie Sanders. 2020, no-brainer. Bernie Sanders is the only lefty in the race at all. But again, the Democrats have this problem where they're not doing a lot of them are sounding the alarm about 2024, but they're not doing anything about it. They're not setting anyone up at all. Like, people need to be, like, I don't know, man. I'm nervous. As someone that doesn't want to see Republicans take this country over and eliminate democracy, which they might do anyway with this fucking stupid state theory bullshit that the Supreme Court's going to look at. Let's get back here. Let's talk about the Trump side of things. Among the respondents polled who believe Trump should now make another bid in the presidential cycle, 36% said Trump was erratic. 33% said he would divide the country, and 30% said he was responsible for Jan 6. I feel like all of those things are the same thing. When a mob, yeah, blah, blah. A majority of those polled said they would consider a moderate independent candidate should Biden and Trump square off against each other. Again, this is the thing. Yeah, like you'll see like Rising and Breaking Points and like the Jimmy Dore people, right? They all love this shit. Like Status Quo loves to do these big, are Americans ready for a third party? The answer is no. Now, it's good for a headline. It's good to get some views. It's good for some copium and hopium to inject into the viewer base. That's fine. But the answer is no. Americans are not ready for a third party. And also, a moderate independent. All right, let's be honest. Let's be real. Let's start the conversation about a moderate independent. If we're going to get a moderate independent, I'm going to vote for Matthew McConaughey. I'm just saying, man. Did you all see that speech he did at the White House? Oh, incredible. Love that guy. Anyway, that's not going to happen, though. 60% said they would consider a moderate independent candidate for the president if Biden... I already read that, actually. Wait, no. Okay, this is just the same line that gives the same... two lines that give the same information. Broken down by party, 53% of Republicans polled and 64% of Democrats said they would consider a moderate independent candidate in that situation. No, they won't. I'm just saying, they're lying to you. They're lying to you. Like, would consider doesn't mean anything, man. Development comes as Biden continues to suffer low approval ratings. In a lot of instances, I believe he's lower than Donald Trump at this point in the presidency. And obviously, there's more crises going on, but he's not doing anything about it. Again, the one thing we hired Joe Biden to do, solve the COVID crisis, we just covered it up. Just threw it under the rug. Oh, what COVID? What? There's a crisis? What? 28% support his action on inflation. The economy, 32%. Stimulating jobs, 43%. And reacting to COVID-19, 50%. Can you imagine half the country thinks Biden did a good job on COVID? What? What? He literally just declared victory and covered it up. That's it. And half of people are like, that's good. Anyway, my opinion, don't fall for the bullshit. We need to come up with a better strategy than, oh, what if Jesse Ventura runs independent? Remember that shit last fucking cycle? What if Jesse Ventura runs? He's gonna save us all, man. Anyway, don't fall for the bullshit. But it is important. The thing that's important is that nobody likes Trump and nobody likes Biden. Nobody likes him. Nobody fucking likes him. But that's the thing. No one's gonna do anything about it. They're lying. They're making it up. They're talking tough. But again, Gary Johnson in 2016, a month and a half before the election day, polled it around 17% at an all-time high. And then he ended up getting 3%. Americans are all talk. They don't give a fuck. It's that simple. It's just that simple.